What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, if you're anything like me, these initial reactions and reviews for the Fantastic Four have me at an all-time hype. It is so awesome to hear that people who are into this kind of thing, and for that matter, some people who aren't comic book fans, have actually said amazing things about the film. But today we're going to wade into the spoiler side of things, as test screening reports for what the post-credit scene is have been around for a while, but now we have a major update, and coming from the industry insider source, an anonymous Twitter scoopster, My Time to Shine Hello. Originally, there were plans for a different post-credit scene that did include that rumored Chris Evans cameo that apparently is no longer part of the film, and it sort of recontextualizes what Marvel was looking to do not only with the post-credit scene, but bringing back Chris Evans as Steve Rogers in the future of the MCU. We've also confirmed there are two of them. We're breaking it all down, the cut post-credit scene and what was involved with Chris Evans' cameo. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel. That's all we do. Thanks to everyone who's been subbing lately and helped grow the channel again at a breakneck pace. If you haven't already, I just kindly invite you to do so. It's the number one thing you can do to support the channel, plus it'll enter you for the giveaways like the PS5 at the end of this week. All you gotta do, be a sub, leave a comment if you want, stick around at the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Now, if you rewind the clock to the beginning of the year around January, we were hearing from multiple credible industry insider sources that Chris Evans had a cameo in the Fantastic Four. And if you remember, our coverage and a lot of other people on our little corner of YouTube said it was most likely as another Johnny Storm cameo, as that's how we just saw him and during Deadpool and Wolverine, and this is a Fantastic Four movie. Maybe our current Fantastic Four, we're going to meet the old Fantastic Four from the Fox universe, at least that's what we speculated. But as we've gotten closer and closer to the Fantastic Four's release, it's pretty apparent by all of the plot leaks, rumors about scenes, and even official confirmations that Chris Evans isn't anywhere in this film. Well, now, according to industry insider and the anonymous Twitter scoopster My Time to Shine Hello, he was in the movie, but he was cut. And it wasn't as Johnny Storm, it was an actual Steve Rogers cameo. This is what he had to say, quote, "For the Fantastic Four First Steps, they originally planned a post-credit scene with Chris Evans as Nomad coming to warn them. Then they replaced it with the one featuring Doom that's been described now multiple times. Now, in the final version, there are two post-credit scenes, and we've also had confirmations from other trusted industry insiders like Daniel RBK that there are indeed two post-credit scenes. We'll talk about what those are in a minute, but first, we got to talk about this Nomad post-credit scene. So while the Nomad title usually refers to Steve Rogers, who's decided to put down the shield and go out on his own, and really would apply to that time in between Civil War and Infinity War, when the Russos say they labeled that team with Natasha Romanoff and Falcon the quote-unquote Secret Avengers, that was basically our Nomad in the MCU. But I'm not sure plucking that exact version of Steve Rogers and from that story will make the most sense in context of what's coming in Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, especially when you can do what they just did in Deadpool and Wolverine and choose a version from across the multiverse that can basically have any backstory you need, which is what I think they're likely going to do. Still, that hasn't stopped theorists from thinking that this Nomad title might actually apply to our Steve Rogers and from the Avengers Endgame ending, where he goes back in time to replace the Infinity Stones and then lives his life out with Peggy Carter. And if some major things went down, say like Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, that could be why an old Cap was reluctant to tell Sam anything. Still, I don't think this is what they're going to do. Ultimately, it's just going to be a new version from somewhere in the multiverse with his own backstory. Maybe Doom has already killed all of his Avengers. Now, this definitely recontextualizes all the Avengers Doomsday rumors that said that we eventually were going to get a Hydra Cap or an evil version of Steve Rogers alongside Doctor Doom, who is basically assembling an evil roster of Avengers. But this would be a totally different plan, right? This would be a plan to bring Steve Rogers, a Captain America Steve Rogers, a good guy, alongside the heroes into the fold to be a part of Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars, so we can get those major moments like Cap with the Spider-Man, or Cap with Wolverine, or Cap even with Reed Richards. Now look, what does this mean for Sam Wilson's Cap in the context of this? Does it undercut him by bringing back Steve Rogers' Cap as well? No, they fought side by side in the comics. They are best friends. Sam Wilson's Captain America is not going to feel any less Captain America than that Cap, but you can rest assured that they'll be making jabs at each other, and especially if our Steve Rogers, or the multiverse Steve Rogers, is wearing the Nomad mantle, that's after he's put down the shield, after he's gotten rid of the Captain America title, so he probably wouldn't even be in the Stars and Stripes anyway. He would basically be dressed in black like we saw him at the beginning of Infinity War. So I don't think that this sort of sets up any drama at all. Quite the opposite. I can't imagine what the cheer is going to be like in the third act when it seems like all is lost and Chris Evans' Captain America shows up. Of course, just for them to lose anyway, because it is Avengers Doomsday and they can't really have a Secret Wars if they beat Doom in the first movie. But hey, we got a long way to go before that happens. Still, I can see Marvel wanting to sandbag this huge reveal and not give it away just yet. Actually save that one from the film. And then I think in the same context, it's awesome to offer us Doctor Doom as it's been described, because we already know RDJ is playing Doctor Doom and we know that he's the big bad in the next film. Yes, definitely put him in the post-credit scene. He hasn't had enough screen time anyway. Not that I'm expecting, from what we've heard for descriptions of that scene, is really going to push the needle further anyway. I'm just hoping they show him, because I'm very interested to see how they play his look. Now, all that being said, there are 2 post-credit scenes, but I don't think the other one is going to be anything like a Nomad Captain America, and in fact, there are rumors coming out now that one of the post-credit scenes is just a joke. It's obviously not the one where Doctor Doom is absconding with Franklin Richards, so I would say whatever that other one is, it's just a gag, something light. Don't expect Nomad, Steve Rogers to be coming out of the woodwork, or any major setups. I am a little surprised that they didn't want to use 2 post-credit scenes for just a little extra time to set that up, and we had also speculated we might see an extension of the Thunderbolts post-credit scene because the Russos directed that, and on the set of Avengers Doomsday, maybe we would see the second half where Fantastic Four actually meet them, but apparently, again, just a joke, not any further setup, and the one that's been described with Doctor Doom, again, kidnapping Franklin Richards from right in the nursery and right in front of Sue Storm, but where before we heard we didn't see his face and he didn't have any dialogue, we're sort of hearing rumors lately that he has some lines in the film and we will get to see him. I'm so super curious how they're going to play that, but hey, we're less than a week away. So exciting, guys. Let me know all your thoughts down below. Definitely in response to them cutting this, do you think this confirms Chris Evans now is definitely back for Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars? And would you have wanted this as the post-credit scene, or do you think it's better maybe to save that for the film? I guarantee you he's not going to be a part of any of the promo if he's the secret cameo that shows up at the end of the movie, so don't expect to see him in trailers. Obviously, they're going to want to hide this one. Let me know your thoughts down below quickly. Let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. All right, we are still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel for every Marvel drop this year. The next one is next Friday for Fantastic Four hitting theaters. If you want to be entered to win or for any of the future giveaways, all the same rules will always apply. Hit the subscribe button because you need to be a subscriber, then leave a comment down below, and because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. The winners will always be announced live with my voice and the winning comment shown on screen. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on, and as always, if you liked today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name All Fires, including the song you're hearing here in the background. Thanks to those of you who have been checking that out. Thanks to those of you supporting the channel. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.